Oh boy, back at it again. After my foray into the bizarre world of Burger King, I knew I needed to do it again. The voices would not let me think otherwise. And what better restaurant to follow up Burger King than the definitive third place, Wendy's. From wholesome beginnings to the most iconic commercial to the weirdest marketing strategy in modern day, let's take a deep dive into Wendy's.
Coffee, decaf, tea, and hot chocolate. Those are the hot drinks that you serve, so get set. Hot cups come in two sizes, small and large to fill as the need arises. Coffee's holding time is 30 minutes, that's so long. It can stay there before it starts to taste too strong. Hot, careful when you pour it. Hold it steady upon the counter, let it sit. Pour it in until the coffee reaches the line. Pop a top on it, gets a lid every time. Wendy's coffee tastes so fine. Hot drinks really get you going, warms you up when you feel you're slowing. Wendy's, we always serve it right away, and a smile and have a nice day.
So, the founder of Wendy's was Dave Thomas. Good for him. He found it while searching the jungle in the Amazon. The story goes that a friend mentioned to Dave that it was difficult to find lunch in downtown Columbus, Ohio. So he opened the first Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers on November 15th, 1969. He named it after his fourth daughter, Melinda, whose nickname was Wendy somehow, and she became the mascot of Wendy's. Later, Dave said that he regretted naming the restaurant that because of the pressure and stress it put onto her. To which she responded, yeah, but he considered naming it after one of his other three daughters or singular son. Do you want to eat at Kenny's? Or Pam? He later opened a restaurant called Sister's Chicken and Biscuits in 1978, in reference to his other three daughters. Kenny can go fuck himself. He doesn't get a restaurant, really bastard. Dave was adopted, good for him. But he also worked at a KFC prior to starting Wendy's, and in the 1950s, the Colonel himself came into restaurants to get his employees to franchise it, and Dave ended up working with him, refining the menu, convincing him to appear in commercials, and he helped to increase the sales of 4 of his restaurants, which led the way to the first Wendy's. Wendy's has 2 unique things that sets it apart from the competition. 1, square patties, because they never cut corners. The second thing is their fresh, never frozen beef. You see, Dave loves hamburgers. And he wanted Wendy's to be a cut above the rest despite not cutting corners, so he chose to use only the freshest of ingredients. So Wendy's keeps production close to home to avoid shipping them frozen, like keeping beef production in Mexico to avoid paying the farmers fair wages, and also cutting the lettuce in stores. So their beef still comes from North America. However, there's this thing called the Fair Food Program, which ensures that farmers have good working conditions and are treated fairly and humanely. Burger King, McDonald's, Subway, and Yum Brands, which is KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell, are all participating buyers of the program. Wendy's is not, which means that they can't guarantee that any farms that they buy from are actually treating their workers fairly. That's actually why they have chili. Something I keep forgetting until I see her face in the chili aisle. The story goes that because the fresh, never frozen beef has a shorter shelf life, Dave needed to do something with the leftovers. So he made chili. Wendy's was also the first fast food restaurant to have a salad bar. Good for them. They also popularized the, pickup window. Enough fucking about! Let's look at some ads. And what better place to start than their first ever commercial?
Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers, they're cooked to order just for you.
Yeah, it's cute. I just don't know how I feel about Jaundice Wendy. Did you know that Wendy's meat is hot and juicy?
Do you know why I love hot and juicy hamburgers? Because I've had so many that weren't.
We make them as juicy as we can. If they trickle down your chin a little, we're sorry.
It's no use, Captain. We already made it as juicy as we can. It's too juicy. More. More! I want their chins to dribble with the juices. I want them to drown while eating their hamburgers. They honestly have some of the most commercials I have ever seen.
I have nothing against heat lamps for sore backs, but I don't want one to bake my already cooked hamburger. That's why I come here to Wendy's. At Wendy's, your hamburger comes to you hot off the grill. You can see it with your own eyes, coming right off the grill. Look, you want heat lamps? Go to a health club. You want a hot and juicy hamburger? Go to Wendy's!
I'm glad you said that.
I want to shake your hand.
I want women to kiss me while I'm talking about Wendy's. All those ads you just saw? Child's play. Inconsequential. A speck of dust in the cultural zeitgeist. I think some of those were even local ads. Ugh. The year is 1984, and the burger wars are ramping up. The big three, McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's, were fighting like suburban moms, hurling insults at each other in their commercials. And Wendy's was about to throw their hat into the ring. And what they landed on was solid gold. I have but one question for you. Where's the beef?
It certainly is a big bun.
It's a very big bun.
Big fluffy bun.
It's a very big fluffy bun.
Where's the beef?
Some hamburger places give you a lot less beef on a lot of bun.
Where's the beef?
At Wendy's, we serve a hamburger we modestly call a single. And Wendy's single has more beef than the Whopper or Big Mac. At Wendy's, you get more beef and less bun.
Hey, where's the beef? I don't think there's anybody back there.
You want something better. You're Wendy's kind of people.
This was directly attacking the patty sizes at McDonald's and Burger King, claiming that Wendy's had more beef in their patties. Which was true because they were square. It was directed by Joe Settlemeyer, who had a philosophy when making commercials. A commercial is something you watch when you sit down to watch something else. You should at least be entertained. His way of making commercials was completely unique at the time, focusing more on normal people instead of highly attractive models, and an emphasis on the comedy. And this commercial would have been nothing without Clara Peller.
So I brought in Clara, and her line, where's all the beef? Well, she couldn't say it. By this time, Clara was in her 80s. She had emphysema. And so she'd say, where's all, and it just sort of died. So that's when I shortened it, not thinking, just say, where's the beef?
She immigrated from Imperial Russia to America at a young age, where she later settled down in Chicago. She was a manicurist for 35 years, but after working temporarily on a TV set, she was signed onto the Dance Fitzgerald Sample Advertising Agency due to her unique voice, personality, and mannerisms. Where's the Beef was huge. In 1985, Wendy's annual revenue had increased by 31% to $945 million. That's almost $946 million. They made merchandise, shirts, hats, a goddamn board game, a single by Coyote McCloud, and she even appeared as a guest timekeeper at the 20-man over-the-top Battle Royale at WrestleMania 2, the same one that Burger King's Herb was at. Remember Herb? No you don't. I do. That song is really something, by the way.
She said, I've had burgers, well done and rare, but now I got one that ain't even there. She got no response from ringing the bell, and that's when she started to yell,
Where's the beef?
She don't see no beef at all.
Where's the beef?
Cop and catch the thief, the one who stole this lady's beef.
Where's the beef?
Meeny, miny, mo. Tell us where did her beef go?
Where's the beef?
Somebody and her grief. Tell her where's the beef.
This was shaping up to be a multi-year campaign with how successful the commercial was. However, in 1985, Peller appeared in a Prego spaghetti sauce commercial where she claimed,
I found it.
it referring to the beef, and I referring to Clara Peller. That was enough for Wendy's to terminate her contract, saying, Clara can find the beef only in one place, and that is Wendy's. Stuff like this is common. You're not allowed to advertise for a competing product. In gamer terms, that's like when the president of the PlayStation 3 appeared in a Mario Kart commercial. He got fired. However, this is spaghetti sauce. Wendy's wasn't even serving spaghetti at the time. There was no competition. They showed no appreciation for Peller. I'd argue that if they never made that commercial, they would not be in the position that they are now. Unfortunately, not long after, in 1987, Clara Peller passed away. She was buried in Chicago, about an hour's travel outside my dorm. So I could technically visit her grave. But it feels very disrespectful to boil down somebody's entire life to a 30-second commercial and a tagline. So instead, I'm gonna flip off a Wendy's. In 1983, Wendy's was ranked third compared to Burger King and McDonald's, and with the success of the Where's the Beef campaign, it should have only gone up. And it did. Until 1987. Burger King had troubles during this time, and so did Wendy's, with them seeing their first loss since 1969, with its revenue dropping by 9.5%, from $848,000 to $767,000. After inflation, that's $2.1 million. Don't feel bad for them. During that time, they were desperately trying to find the same success that Where's the Beef got them, like offering breakfast and giving away 2 disposable razors. Oh, I gotta go get an omelet. This would be the perfect time for a Manscaped sponsorship. If I had one. Are your balls hairy? Eat at Wendy's. Breakfast was a failure, by the way. Omelets were too hard to make. Wendy's put out this ad mocking Soviet fashion to promote how you can customize your order. Peller was from Russia. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but just to be safe, I'm gonna flip off another Wendy's.
Are you flipping off Wendy's?
Yes. They also tried to compete with the Whopper and Big Mac by creating their own signature burger. Everybody, say it with me now. The Big Classic. Okay, so they didn't really have one for a while, but they started with the Big Classic. At some point, you could buy a jazz cap. I don't know what that is.
Where's the beach?
I physically don't have enough Wendy's to flip off. They also opened up the Super Bar, a buffet where you can make your own pasta, salad, or tacos. I feel like the last thing I trust is an all-you-can-eat buffet, and one from a fast food joint I trust even less. They later added pizza to the bar because it was probably working. That's why they don't have it anymore. Because it was working too well.
My daughter Wendy said, Dad, the Super Bar is such a great deal, people are going to want to eat here every night. I said, Wendy, that's what we're hoping for.
Wendy was 29 when this was aired. Blatant emotional manipulation. What they ended up doing to try to boost sales was having Dave appear in the commercials. Something that KFC was already doing, but Dave was actually the person that convinced Colonel Sanders to start appearing in the commercials. So who really did it first? KFC. I would like to say it feels authentic, like you're seeing the human behind the giant corporation. But Dave isn't much of an actor, so it feels like he's reading off a script. But it's nice to see, he's trying.
We make the best hamburgers in the business.
Our hamburgers are the best in the business. His way of speaking is really charming, though. Their profit was $39.3 million in 1990. This ad was advertising how you could have it your way and customize your order, something that no other burger place was doing.
I started Wendy's with one restaurant and a philosophy. Give people a hamburger fixed the way they want it, and don't make them wait for it. Given that, why would anyone go anyplace else?
Red, white, blue, red, white, blue. There was also the super value menu, which is a far cry from modern day. I wish I could go back to the 1920s. I went to get drunk in the Prohibition when Wendy's didn't exist yet. But hot dogs did exist, and only 99 cents. Wow! Hot dogs at Wendy's! Ugh. Around this time, Wendy's also made a training video. Because why wouldn't they? It was 1989. All the cool kids were doing it. Punk. One got some traction in recent years. Hot drinks. Which is this guy teaching you how to make hot drinks at Wendy's. Only at Wendy's. Eat Wendy's, please. It's honestly a pretty catchy song. Wendy's has a bunch of these training videos, including When Clowns Go Bad, a full courtroom drama where Ronald McDonald gets killed in the Wendy's walk-in fridge. I'll give you 3 seconds to guess what this is training the employees for. Closing. Like closing the casket. Because you got murdered. Because Wendy's killed you. They also acquired Tim Hortons in 1995. I feel like that's important to mention. Actually, Burger King now owns Tim Hortons. That's another win for me. Dave appeared in a lot of commercials over the years. A lot. Over 800. He did this right up to his death in 2002, with this being one of his last commercials, introducing 2 new sandwiches to the Wendy's menu. My cup overfloweth. Throughout the 2000s, Wendy's continued making ads without Dave. They didn't want a Weekend at Bernie's him. It's more of the same type of ads where something vaguely funny happens. Eat at Wendy's, they have the meats. Not too different from what literally everybody else was doing. Though I did stumble across an attempt to make a new mascot, Mr. Wendy's, who is just some guy that really likes Wendy's.
This is my wall of cheese. I love cheese, as you can see. Oh boy, Cheddar England, ground zero for us cheddar lovers.
This was me in middle school, by the way. Around this time, Wendy's introduced the Baconator, which is their beef patties paired with applewood smoked bacon. This was my order before I switched to the spicy chicken sandwich. Actually, I think I had like the son of Baconator. Here's this one that consists of people screaming. Screaming because their faces have been replaced with cutouts. A mask they cannot remove. Their previous identity erased. So compared to Burger King's ads during this time, this is really lame. Burger King was doing some insane things with their ads, but they were trying something new. The No Whopper ads and the subservient chicken were inventive. The King was purposely creepy and memorable, and the games were there. In comparison to Wendy's, they were leagues ahead. Wendy's had been chasing the same success from Where's the Beef, and they ended up falling back on Dave appearing in every single commercial they did. Even after his death, they were still doing stuff that everybody else was doing. While Burger King was throwing everything at the wall, Wendy's was playing it safe. Well, I mean, surely Wendy's is doing good now, right? Well, they still have time to turn things around. Around this time, Wendy's International Inc. was acquired by Triarch Companies Inc., and they officially merged with Arby's, which was good for Wendy's. It didn't do much to help Arby's, though. They later sold all their stock in 2018 and became the Wendy's Corporation, acting as their own entity again. I really thought something was gonna come from that. Wendy's wasn't even really in a bad place when the merger happened. They tried to bring back Where's the Beef in 2011.
Where's the beef? Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
I want to show you where the beef is. My pussy, Wendy's. Here's the beef. Wendy also appeared in a commercial of her own, introducing the Dave's Hot and Juicy Cheeseburger. We always knew Dave had the hottest and juiciest beef. I'm gonna stop doing those jokes now. At this point, their ads started to shift, both TV and elsewhere. We are now entering the modern era of Wendy's advertising, where they're starting to get a little weird, a little quirky, they're not like other girls. They have the recurring redhead. You gonna see her before you're gonna see her again? It's the recurring redhead. Wait a minute. But one ad from this era stands out. I feel like it's a good stepping stone into their modern works. but also one that became so infamous online that people fucking hated it. And it's the memer.
Wendy's new jalapeno fresco spicy chicken is so deliciously hot, it's generating reactions from everyone, like the memer.
Whew. Eat spicy goodness like a boss.
And the behind the timeser.
This sandwich is the bomb. Raise the roof.
I honestly don't hate it. Maybe enough time has passed where now I can laugh at how stupid it is. It's very fun to quote too. Eat spicy goodness like a boss. Yeah. Well, around the same time, something more treacherous was brewing. Something evil, foul, destructive. Twitter.com. Many brands tried to create their own social media accounts, and they all felt very safe and corporate. And on platforms where you can get the most human posts out there, for better or for worse, that wasn't going to fly. Then Wendy's showed up and ruined everything. They weren't the first to do this, but they might as well have been because they were the most influential. They started roasting people. And despite every fiber in my being wanting to hate this, some of these are actually pretty good. Going to In-N-Out, what should I get? Out. Wendy's, can you give me relationship advice? If you're asking a fast food Twitter, this relationship might be doomed. Yo, I just ate at BK. What are you gonna do about it? Feel sorry for you. Okay, if you go up to any person in the street and ask them which they prefer, McDonald's, Burger King, or Wendy's, they would choose McDonald's. But if you ask between Burger King and Wendy's, they're going to choose Wendy's. They have consistently been third in the burger wars. Burger King right now is the 6th largest fast food chain, and Wendy's is the 15th. Why the Burger King slander? The Whopper is actually good. Not $6 good, but it's actually good. I just can't believe this. It feels like people are just like, oh, Wendy's is so much better. Wendy's is so much better than Burger King. Then why the hell do people go to Burger King if Wendy's exists? Why is it so popular? Why is it more popular than Wendy's if Wendy's is better? Anyway, back to the roasts. Wendy's Twitter was successful. They got tons of likes and even news coverage. But was it worth it? Their Twitter was so influential that now every brand has to be some kind of weird and offbeat. It's them appearing as more relatable than what they actually are. Giant corporations. Still kind of funny though. They did something similar with their Facebook, making posts that emulate the user base of old people. These are also actually funny, I think. I like these. What about Wendy's mixtape? What about it? We beefin'? We will now. I don't care too much for this. It's not my type of music. Of course, one of my favorite songs is so maybe take my music taste with a grain of salt.
You're sitting here through this 10-minute long song advertisement for Wendy's.
Wendy's ads in the modern era is a bit more difficult to cover because they keep removing the videos from their YouTube channel. I got one when they had the pumpkin spice frosty. You can't find it anymore. I have a piece of lost media. It sucks that they keep removing them because I genuinely like what they're doing. They have a cast of recurring characters in the same Wendy's restaurant, and it's a lot more entertaining and funny than what other fast food brands are doing. If I'm forced to watch an entire ad, I'd prefer it to be Wendy's. I'll still skip though. Like, if I have the option, I will skip. I'm not just sitting there watching every single ad that I come across. My favorite one was where they gave code names to breakfast items.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 is so good, the crew is giving every combination code names.
I got that sauce biscuit and some Tay-Tays.
Eggman and Saucy Boy. 2 hot coffees.
2 hot coffees.
No matter what you call, choose Wendy's new cock. Look what's on a pretzel bun now. Wendy's cock. There's cock in every burger. Only at Burger King.
That's also my dad's favorite. He'll quote that sometimes. Also their Friday one I like.
Friday! So Toby says every day is now
Friday.
Tuesday.
Friday.
Wednesday.
Friday.
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 Get Wendy's cock.
What I could find was that VML is behind a lot of modern Wendy's ad campaigns, like their Facebook, their Twitch, I'll get to that, and possibly these recent ads, though I can't find anything on their website referencing it. I don't know how reliable Spot.tv is in terms of information, but VML definitely did work with Wendy's. They even allegedly worked on the memer, so blame them. Let's talk about surge pricing. That's when you raise or lower prices when the demand or supply changes. Like, for instance, let's say it's a hot summer day and you're running out of ice cream. How much do you think you could get them to pay for it? Wanna see? Wendy's announced that they were going to introduce dynamic pricing, which is surge pricing, and everybody hated it. I can't tell if they're actually backing down from this decision, or if they're just saying, no guys, we're not introducing surge pricing. It's dynamic pricing. It's completely different, we swear. But either way, it's really scummy. Yeah, I'm not bothering with the wig this time. There's a new promotion at Wendy's, and I say new. This is months old at this point. You could go to Wendy's and get a Krabby Patty in real life. I mean, you can't anymore, the promotion's done, but you could've. I'm surprised that something like this hasn't been done before, just having a restaurant serve a burger and calling it a Krabby Patty. But I also think a pop-up restaurant existed, so it's not that cool anymore, like it's already been done. A brief look at international Wendy's. Wendy's in the Philippines still offers spaghetti. Wendy's Bahamas has a website, it's wendy's.bs. That's funny. Goff Wendy's. It was a partnership with Camden Open Air Gallery. You can get poutine in Canada, and pizza way down in Georgia. First Kitchen was a fast food chain in Japan that was acquired by Wendy's in 2016. Their abbreviation was FK, but it was hardly used because it sounded like fucking. It's mostly the same as in America, but with the Wild Star Burger, which has 2 patties as the buns, and also pasta again. I don't know why pasta is so common in fast food places outside of America. Why is it just Jollibee's here? Also, why Jollibee's? Now, this is the part where I would usually switch gears and talk about their video games. If they had any. That's right, Wendy's doesn't have any video games. Which is a bit weird, considering how they have an iconic mascot right here. But maybe it's for the best, being that she is based off a real person. That doesn't mean there's none, just nothing like the Burger King games. For example, I found a Temple Run clone to promote a new burger. It's bad. On their website, if you get a 404 error, you get this Burger Time clone. It's cute. I would have expected that Wendy's would have at least had like a 8-bit game. You can clearly make it work and look good, come on. God, if only you had a platformer, then I would really want to eat your food. Wendy's has tried to infiltrate other games with their marketing. This is what VML has been doing, by the way. In the VR game, Meta Horizon Worlds, you can visit the Wendy's Verse, which is a virtual Wendy's restaurant where you can get like real food or promo codes or something at it. And players spent 11 minutes there. Whoa! During a competition in Fortnite, have you heard of Fortnite? Between pizza and burgers, Wendy's went live on Twitch and started destroying burger freezers because Wendy's.
Fortnite has taken over the gaming world, becoming the most streamed game on Twitch ever. But brands are left out of the action, either tweeting from the sidelines or paying big bucks for in-game sponsorships.
Oh, the poor brands, they just want to be in Fortnite. Pretty much anything with a character or level creator had Wendy's doing something with it on Twitch. Smash Bros stages, Street Fighter, Animal Crossing, Roblox, Minecraft, a full world in Super Mario Maker 2. Finally, a platformer! I can eat the food now! A lot of these are preserved in marketing videos, which is just to show people how good they are at marketing, and one of them has Peanut Butter Gamer in it.
Everyone wants in on gaming, but gamers are a tight-knit community who don't just let anyone in. Especially brands.
I mean, we're talking about art here, tainted by corporate advertising.
But Wendy's.
Despite my channel focusing a lot on ads, and also these deep dive videos focusing on corporate advertising in video games, I agree. I like looking at these because it's funny, not because I agree with it. But the issue with this type of advertising is that it works. People will play the funny Wendy's stages or Mario Maker levels because it's funny, and then they'll go get Wendy's. There's still the Where's the Beef game that I could look at. Remember that? Well, you should, because Where's the Beef is a combination roll and memory game. How's it going, dudes? Players move around the board, flipping over tiles, trying to find the 4 hidden beef tokens. Once a player thinks they know the location of all 4, they announce it to the table and attempt to flip over all 4. If they do, they win. If they don't, they become the beef. It doesn't seem that bad, but it has a 4.8 on BoardGameGeek.com, so I don't know. And while there are no more video games for me to look at, there is still one thing I have to mention. Back in 2019, Wendy's created a full tabletop RPG game called Feast of Legends. And when I say it's a full tabletop RPG, I mean it. It's got unique classes and weapons, a new rule set, custom art, and an entire 5-part campaign, which I played with my friends. I didn't just sit there doing it alone. This is my first time playing D&D. Technically, this isn't really D&D, it's Wendy's. And it's my first time DMing a campaign. Because I'm the main character. And I played the whole thing. As long as you don't take it too seriously and you're playing with a good group of people, like my friends, I love my friends, then it's really fun. The story goes that an evil ice jester is trying to freeze all of Freshtopia, and under the rule of Queen Wendy, your party must go stop him. You'll go to some crazy unique lands, like a potato forest or a frozen play place, and you'll have to fight food-based enemies. Or in my case, Sonic the Hedgehog. The classes are all based on Wendy's menu items, but put into a few different categories. The order of the chicken, the order of the beef, and the order of the sides, each with their own unique specialties. Beefs are usually warriors, sides are mages, and chicken is also mages. I don't know the difference between the two. My friends all made their own characters, like Debbie Beaties from the Order of the Frosty, who is a giant sentient Frosty, and also just a big bag of holding. Smoke Applewood from the Order of the Baconator, whose girth is 13 inches. And Burgermeister Meisterburger from the Order of the Double Stack, whose name is really fun to say, and you have to say the whole thing. Burgermeister Meisterburger, it's fun. They also started stealing NPCs and forcing them to join the party, like my own original character, Cynthia Bloodrain Firestorm, who is like the main character from My Immortal. The Noid, who is Buttercup from the Powerpuff Girls. I made the figurines using Legos, okay? And Bunger. I just had a soundboard with all Bunger's things on it. I was just pressing Bunger. Bunger. I made a little Lego. I have it here, actually. This is my Lego Bunger. It is super cool. Bunger! The whole book is filled with deep-cut Wendy's references and memes. They play hot drinks at the festival, tons of references to dipping your fries in the Frosty and the 444 menu. Fresh Never Frozen is a main theme of the campaign. A reference to Clara Peller despite them screwing her over. I will never forgive them for this. And even references to other restaurants, like with The Creepy King. If you roll a natural 1, it's called a big oops. If you roll a natural 20, it's called feast mode. There's a labyrinth-style guard puzzle where one always tells the truth and one always lies, and they always end their sentence with, and that's the tea. But the puzzle they're guarding is, what do you eat a Frosty with? Fries or a spoon? And if you're playing a goddamn Wendy's tabletop RPG, this isn't even a puzzle. We would occasionally get Wendy's when we played, because of course, and if you do, you get real in-game buffs. And if you get the same food as your order, you get advantage on all attack rolls through the entire day. This game has pay-to-win mechanics. What's worse is that there's a debuff if you eat non-Wendy's food, and most of it has been offered by Wendy's before. They get a pass for frozen burgers, but they've offered pizza, fried chicken, and tacos before. On their website, they describe apple slices as snacks, so that covers the snackies portion, ugh. That's the worst goddamn way you could say snacks. And gas station food, just go to a gas station that has a Wendy's attached to it. The one that I have trouble proving is the sub sandwich, because they've never offered a traditional sub sandwich before. The closest I could find is this flatbread chicken sandwich. Let's say, hypothetically, you go to Subway and you get a sub sandwich. Is that a sub sandwich? Yes, it is. If you take that exact same sandwich and replace the bread with the flatbread, is it still a sub sandwich? I'd argue that it is, but according to Wikipedia, a sub sandwich is defined by its cylindrical bread roll, stuffed with meat, cheese, vegetables, and condiments. Which begs the question, is a hot dog a sub sandwich? It's got the cylindrical bread roll, and if you top it right, then you meet all the requirements. Playing this as a new player, I thought it was alright. My main issue is that sometimes during the campaign, it's hard to tell what I'm supposed to read out to the players and what I'm supposed to keep to myself, or what I'm supposed to add my own flavor to. That might just come with more experience, which I wouldn't mind doing in the future. It was really fun. This was a really high quality campaign book though. In fact, the joke is how high quality it is. In fact, it was so high quality that even Critical Role played it, and why was that controversial? In a now deleted livestream, Critical Role played Feast of Legends, making their own story inspired by the campaign. I watched a bit of it. I don't really care for Critical Role. I'm more of a just roll with it kind of guy. The issue with the one-shot wasn't because of the content in the game, or because it was a Wendy's campaign, but rather because they were sponsored to play it. You see, Feast of Legends is a giant ad for Wendy's, and if you're playing with your friends, then it's fine. You're playing this to have fun, to laugh at the Wendy's campaign, and to play with your friends. But if you're one of the biggest D&D podcasts, and you get sponsored to play the giant ad, it doesn't come across as, haha, look at the stupid Wendy's campaign. It comes across as being corporate shills, forcing your impressionable viewers to buy Wendy's because Yusuke told you to. William SRD made a video talking about the controversy, go check it out if you want to learn more. But one of the main reasons it was controversial was because it's Wendy's. Wendy's is not a very ethical company. It's a giant corporation, what did you expect? That goes against the ideals that Critical Role was cultivating during this time. Which made me think about what I'm doing here. I have to make this about me. I'm the main character. You have to like me. I like looking at ads. I like looking at the weird things that ads do and say, hey, isn't that weird? But I know that a lot of people don't. And what I'm doing is essentially free advertising. And I don't know if I've been as critical as I should have been. So I want to be clear about my advertising videos going forward. I am here to make fun at brands and look at the weird or stupid ways they advertise their products, not try to sell you on them. With that out of the way, I'm gonna eat some fucking Wendy's. Be right back, babe. I have access to a table now. Alright, so first off, hi, welcome. This is Wendy's. This is me eating Wendy's. First of all, I went to my local Wendy's, and I went inside to order, and you know what was there? Nobody. There was nobody at the registers, no other customers, there was just nobody there. Which meant that I had to go through the drive-thru, or the pickup window. It took a bit, but I got the food. I got myself a Dave's Single, which is their burger of choice, their signature burger. McDonald's has Big Mac, Burger King has the Whopper, and Wendy's got Dave. I then got some of their fries, and of course, the Frosty. And it's kind of weird, like, the default for Wendy's for their Frosty is chocolate. And I thought it was vanilla because, you know, vanilla is the default flavor for ice cream. It's vanilla. But no, it's chocolate. I have tried Wendy's before. I don't really have a personal connection to it, like I did with Burger King. But I haven't tried the Dave's Single. So that's what we're doing today. Also, you might think this is coffee. However, this is the deceiver. I actually made myself some frothy water. Today, I'm going to show you how to make frothy water from Caramel Dream, a mixology book inspired by Valhalla, now available on Fangamer. Not sponsored, frothy water is the non-alcoholic version of beer, and all you need is 3 ingredients: seltzer, malt soda, which does not exist in the US, I checked, so I'm substituting it for non-alcoholic beer, and a good attitude. Unfortunately, I don't have that right now, so we're substituting it for apathy. Combine the seltzer with the non-alcoholic beer and mix. And you're done! How does it taste? Bad. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, that's so bad. Alright, Dave Single. That's like me. These patties are actually pretty big. This actually looks decent. Yeah, it's pretty alright. I mean, it's got that, like, classic fast food burger taste. It tastes like as good, if not better, than the Whopper. Maybe if I get Wendy's again, I'll go for the Dave. I can't wait to eat Dave's meat. The portion is actually pretty good. The Dave Single regular is like $5, which maybe that is actually too much. Fast food is always too expensive. It should be $1 and I should be able to get 10 burgers for $10. Next we got the fries. They're fries. For some reason, like, Wendy's fries, like, makes me feel a little bit ill afterwards. Not like I'm gonna throw up, but, like, I eat them, and then a little bit later I'm like, oh, and then I'm fine. I don't know if anybody else does it, but I like to put fries directly onto the sandwich that I got. And then I put the bun back on, and then I go, oh, call me Michelin, because I be a star. And of course, we got the Frosty. No, obviously, there's only one correct way to eat a Frosty. It's not as bad as you think. I asked for a small. Actually, wait, did I get a small? Is this a small? Yeah, I got a small chocolate Frosty. Yeah, it's red. I guess this is a small. That's a lot for a small. They were running a promotion that was like, at participating restaurants, Frosties, small Frosty, $1. $1. I'd buy that for $1. That's a reference to something. Smash TV, I played that with my dad. It was fun. I don't normally get like a chocolate shake when I eat food. I feel like that's a bit too much. I just stick with water. I stick with Frosty water. Eat fresh. Why the hell did I do that again? What it does well. I don't think it's my favorite place to eat. I don't think any fast food place is my favorite place to eat. That would be weird. But yeah, that's what I've been doing with my life. Wow, Wendy's sure does have food. This concludes my deep dive. I honestly thought this was going to be a weaker one, just because I don't think Wendy's has done anything on the same level as Square Butts. But I was genuinely surprised. I decided to do this before I knew about Feast of Legends. I pretty much sealed my fate into talking about McDonald's. So the next one of these will be about that, but it won't be for a long time. I need to recover. And as always, stay frosty. Get it? Because Frosties. Frosties is a menu item at Wendy's.
Coffee, decaf, tea, and hot chocolate. Those are the hot drinks that you serve, so get set. Hot cups come in 2 sizes, small and large to fill as the need arises. Coffee's holding time is 30 minutes.